Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here, once again to discuss another One Piece chapter review. Chapter, 1161. Hold on, let me just with the page where I'm reading the chapter on. It's kind of messed up a little bit. Let me just A Song of Love bound under the Hall of Arrows. We finally got to. This chapter is basically covering the events of last week's chapter, in which the God Valley incident has finally begun. We see the world nobles slaughtering innocent civilians. We see the God's Knights. We see all the major players arriving, such as the Rocks Pirates, the Roger Pirates, and Garp. All of them looking epic as hell. The God Knights, preparing for battle, while Dragon is trying to successfully take Shanks and Shamrock away from the God's Knights at the request of their mother, who does not want them to become awful people. And that's the one thing that Dragon hopes to try and accomplish, that he feels like the one good thing he could do on this island after helping doing all that bad stuff. So anyway, but before we begin with that and how that chapter follows up, and see whether or not how Dragon ends up losing Shamrock, or who fights who in God Valley, we get actually not one but two cover pages. The first one is this double-colored spread, of which you see the Straw Hats fighting over a bunch of plushies based on all their loved ones, if you will. And while you have Luffy and Nami sort of having a tug of war with Chopper, but in your arms they see the people that are important to them, such as Vivi, Genzo, Bellamy, her sister Nojiko, and Vivi, her best friend, and that weather wizard as well. Luffy, you have him arguing over, holding in his hand Shanks, Sabo, Makiko, Ace, Dandan, Garp, Rayleaf, Whitebeard, all the sort of poor people in his life. Granted, I think Whitebeard is more of just because he's like Ace's like father figure, so it's like you at least put some value on that. That's my guess. He also has in pocket Momonosuke because he's a little brother, and around him you have like Yamato and Kosuke Oden, because these are people that he's asked to try and join his crew. And I think you've got Gaddon. I forgot the Betsy Trunk dude's name, the guy in the chest's name, which is bad because I just recently watched the episode with him in it. Gabon, I think it was, or Gabon. He did also ask him. So yeah, but while you've got them arguing there, you have Zoro sort of sleeping on the large Shirahoshi pillow, whereas next to him is only really Hawkeye, and I can't tell who the blonde doll is there. It might be someone close to Zoro, but no. But also you see underneath Luffy's knee is Boa Hancock and Carrot, who are also probably arguably important companions to Luffy. But basically, I think you got Sanji yelling at Zoro because he wants the Shirahoshi one, and he's got in his hand a lot of the One Piece women. I should also say behind Luffy is like the one of like the male wood slap of his village. But in Sanji's hand, you've got like Pudding, Perona. I think that on that Skypian female citizen. I think you've got Kosuke Hiyori, which, to be fair, probably should be with Zoro. And you've got Lilith, you've got Violet, and you've got Kami. You've also got, I think, Sanji throwing maybe a buggy one at him, which Zoro doesn't really care for. And around the sort of double page, you've got like multiple. You're seeing what all the other Straw Hats are doing. Let's see a close up of some of their faces, such as Jinbei is sleeping, but most of them, particularly Usopp, Frankie, Robin, and Brooke, are trying to rescue Chopper, who's gotten trapped inside like a sort of some of those like crane machines you get in like arcades and all that stuff, where you try to pick up a prize, but they're kind of a bit of a ripoff. You see Usopp trying to concentrate getting Chopper out. Brooke being like the crane, Jinbei sleeping, Frankie trying to find how many quarters they have left, and Robin praying for his concern because Chopper's like, help me, as a giant lion's inside there ready to look like he's about to devour him. Honestly, it's a nice little cover spread and all that stuff. It's kind of creative, but yeah, I do quite like seeing it. But I will admit, Apparently, somebody basically requests by Luffy and Usopp catching a Chopper plushie at a Crane game by Kodo. So, seems like someone requested this one. But anyway, I've gone on long enough about this Crane. It's time for the other cover, which is I'm going through all these chapter pages, so apologies. Let's see. The main one is let's see, the Yamato covers, Golden Harvest, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Circuit Pilgrimage Volume 43. Let's see, Where the Heroes Sleep, in which you see Yamato, Momosuke, and Kimimon praying for all the people that died. You'd see, depending on which translation, for example, Viz, it shows the names of them. Kozuki Ogun being the big one. Then you've got Kozuki Toki, Ushiaki Tempura, Izo, Ma, Pedro, Fugetsu Umbashi, Shimimosuke Umiyashia, Kozumi, Shimimosuke Yashui, Okatake, Ashura Donji, I think Tanri, and there's something of Tai, but there's a few being covered up. Let's see, and I think one of them is Kurozumi, which might imply, let's see, so yeah, basically it's got Oden, let's see, his wife, let's see, the scabbards that died, I think some of the, Damio that fought against Kaido, Pedro, let's see, all that. There's a few names I don't recognize, but I think one of them, interestingly, has got Kurozumi, which might be Kanjuro, which might be a bit controversial since Kanjuro betrayed them, but I guess they wanted to pay at least some respects, even to him, I guess, or at least, I don't know, I don't know why, because it does how much of a traitor he was, but who knows, maybe they just want to be respectful or something, but yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure if this is the final page of this cover story, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oda does at least two more just to go up to around to the number of 45. But yeah, I do like how it seems Yamato's finally reunited with Kimimon and Momonosuke. So I wonder if that means that we're going to see what Yamato's going to do next now that he's completed the task that they set Yamato up to do. So yeah. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. I think it's time that I actually get to the actual chapter in which let me just oops, I think I went a bit. See, basically we start with a glimpse of Guard Valley. You get the narration going how many figures arrived on this island, turning it into an inescapable battlefield. You see a bunch of let me find it. A bunch of world nobles complaining as the Marines try to tell them that to please evacuate the island, as they demand their prize, saying that we're responsible, but they're going to be held them all responsible for letting this disaster happen. Meanwhile, you have civilians saying that, who are being targets of this game, thinking that maybe this is their chance to escape and use the chaos to find the boat. And then you've got this, arguably, I think this is the only panel in which you see rocks in this chapter. But that's fine. But yeah, you've got this this badass sort of free panel of Rocks, Garp, and Roger, where each of them are just trying to think of where one of them's asked where you hear each of their targets. Roger wondering where Shaki is. Rocks trying to find his wife, which I think we've got a confirmed name of Eris, and that and his son, of course, Blackbeard. And Garp asking where Roger is. In the meantime, while this is happening, let me just find it. Oops, no, wrong page. That's not that one yet. We have oops, no, that's the wrong one. Here we go. We have Dragon, who is trying to get the twins out of there and all that stuff to the Navy ships. Thinking just a little bit longer. Let's see, then sees a bunch of pirates thinking the wrong way, but unfortunately, he does not see that he is being followed by a member of the Guards Knights, the one that looks kind of like killing him, where she says, I found him, it's a sailor carrying a baby, and she ends up striking him with what appears to be a laser beam from her mouth, damaging Dragon and all that stuff as he collapses on the floor. As the person who is as the person on the Dendemushi is sort of thanking thanking her, saying, "You saved my life, Maffy," saying Garling was going to kill me for sure. As we see one of the twins fall down with her picking up, and she goes like, "Garling had a kid. Who'd have thunk it? Can't imagine who'd want the T to kidnap the brat." As we've got a narration of Holy Knights of the Gods, God of the Gods, Satchel's family, Saint Maffy. So it's not the same family as Killingham's family is. Let's see, hold on, let me find out. Let me just double check what family he was from again. God's Knights, Knights of God. Let's see, Knights of God. So yeah, as I think Killingham's from the Ramashifu family, but yeah, I forgot that. Where was I? So she's basically holding Shamrock, and Dragon is thinking like, no, wait, don't take those babies. It's thinking that the only way he can atone for his part in the sick murder game. And as she's about to try and kill Dragon, and he thinks like, this is probably what he deserves for all the people that died. But before that can happen, she ends up being hold on, let me just find the panel. Yeah, here it is. Ends up being attacked, and it's like someone says, out of the way. She's dead. She's cut in half, and then you've kind of got this awesome panel of hold on, let me find it. Of Big Mom and Whitebeard arguing like with him, saying that wasn't aiming for her, saying he's trying to cut down the enemy, but she's accusing him of lying and that she almost died with it. With Whitebeard trying to wonder how many crews on this island, and says, let's see, do we need to sell our scork? Now is the time. A Dragon, we're just see commenting about just how massive these two future Yonko actually are, because it's like at this point Dragon is just tiny and not really on their level. But yeah, and then you've got a bunch of Shaq, let's see, Shiki going like, "Hey Nike, were you trying to kill me, you rat?" And he's just like just annoyed that he's here. And Kaido accusing Lin of lying to him, with her going like, "What you mean?" Calling out his names. With then a bunch of random pirates going like, "It's the Rocks pirates, take them down and we'll be famous." With Shiki going like, "Hold on, do they think they deserve to win Shaki too?" And then you get this really awesome, let's see, panel of, hold on, let me just find it. Let's see, no. Let's see, it's here. This awesome panel of three of the future four Yonkos and Shiki mowing down all these random pirates are trying to pick a fight, as they say, "Go back home and get in bed, you miserable weaklings." This awesome panel. It's like a sort of like Avengers Assemble like thing, but this time with the Yonko and Shiki, who could have been a Yonko but screwed up, I think. Arguably, you could even argue that this could have been probably the original four Yonko, if Shiki didn't really say got taken down in chapter 0 after Roger's execution and all that stuff. So yeah, you've got this awesome panel of them kicking butt and all that stuff. Parts being blown away. I think you've got then hold on. Let me just see if I can find it. Did I take a panel of this one? Oh yeah, I did. Maffy holding Shamrock, as Shamrock's crying, going like, "What's happening to this island?" With Dragon going like, "Now I've got an opening to escape," but she comments that she's got the baby, and then notices that we have an let me just find it. An unconscious Shank with a bump in his head, realizing that this is that at least one end of the babies is still in his grasp. But before anything happens, we get Garp Ritzy saying he says he sensed a big catch up ahead and found himself a first-class fishing shot, preparing one of his hockey fists. And we see that After that awesome panel of the Yonko kicking butt together, we then see. Hold on, let me find it. Damn it. Here it is. Let's see. The three of them running away from Garp as he is attacking them, saying, "Now come quietly, you Neptunians." With them going like, "Crud, it's Garp, run, or we'll be stuck here forever." With Kata complaining, "Ain't we going to fight him?" But she says, "No, forget it," as she tells Suf and Prometheus to help her ready, as arguably this was the most talked about page in the entire thing. Garp, the Garp. Let's see, scaring three let's see, three future emperors. Let's see who are close to their prime, not really wanting to fight him, which has boosted his, let's see, popularity on Twitter in terms of his strength at the very least, because you still got people wondering, because you also got people questioning why is he allowing all this to happen in God Valley, but that's another bitsy thing to go. But you got Dragon reacting, seeing his dad there, thinking, what? Let's see, Garp's there with Big Mom doing this sort of, let me find it. This awesome attack with Zeus and Prometheus called Heavenly Fire Blitz. Let's see, attacking him, causing a massive explosion in which you end up seeing let me just find it. A young Kuma and Ivanka going like, "Wait, who did that? What was that?" But talks about how this is their chance. So basically, you just got a little pattern of like showing the events going on just as these two are about to, steal like the devil fruits for their like plan. So we're probably going to get that part of the chapter coming up soon. But Big Mom, wait on a second. But Big Mom, despite her powerful attack, Garp remains completely unaffected. And he goes like, "You call that fire, Lin? You can cook prime ribs with that," with Big Mom cursing Garp's overwhelming strength. But anyway, you got Matthew at sea going like, "Well, the kidnapped Scubby dead now," saying that baby safe and sound, so that's good too. With the person and then they're Mishy saying, "Baby's safe and sound, perfect. Come back before Garling finds out." Probably not aware that Garling actually had twins, so I think this guy's going to be basically in trouble. So yeah, you got that. But anyway, as you've got like Yonko running and Garp, terrifying them. Dragon basically, with no other option left, just takes the unconscious Shanks, or maybe he's starting to cry again. But going like, "I'm so sorry, I might not be able to rescue your brother, but at least I got you." Realizing that, okay, he was unable to save Shamrock, is going to very at least try and save Shanks, since the God Knights thinks that there's only like one baby. But speaking of God Knights, we end up catching up with another one, the one from the Maymar family, I believe it is. Hold on, let me just find her. Let's see, I think we can see her here. And she talks about thinking you thought you could take advantage of the situation and then escape, and saying no one gets alive out, resident or pirate, as she's shooting down many of the civilians, showing that despite all the chaos with the pirates, the Guards Knights are still slaughtering many of the civilians here because, well, a genocide is basically going on here, so they're being shot down. And then we end up seeing a let's see, let me just see if I can find it. A Marine giving an update on the sort of situation, saying that the Rocks pirates are coming from the southeast of the valley, and the Roger pirates are inbound from the north reds, and they're about to be stuck between the two, as we got a map of where both these crews are and where the Celestial Dragons are trying to escape, as the Marines are preparing for their encounter, saying that let's see, so here's from the pirates saying, "We're taking Shaki back." Some of them saying that's Roger, saying that they defend the spot with their life. The treasure hasn't been hauled out yet. And the Rocks pirates are coming from the other direction. And you see... Hold on, let me just... And you see members of the Rocks pirates, which see here with like... Let's see, hold on, let me just find out what that guy's name is. I always forget that guy's name. Rocks pirates... let's see. Gods, pirates. Rocks, pirates, rocks, pirates, rocks, pirate. Edward Newgate, rocks, pirates. Oh yeah, here we go. I think his name. Oh yeah, Ganazu, one of the let's see, Thriller Box zombies, if you will. I think you've got like a Easter egg of what was his name? Gil Basta in there. You've got Gloriosa. You've got basically Silver Axe Hand or what's his name? Kyo. Let's see, Shiki, let's see who he's pushing in the side of the face, which I'm wondering how he got there after, probably. Let's see, when you see like the Emperor's running away from Garb, but he says, I'll say from Silver Axing, I'll save her first, but Shiki saying, no, get off me, and then of course you've got Captain John saying, we're here to rescue Shaki, and I think in the background you've got that fisherman called Babel there, where basically they're all trying to come in, and you've got like this noticeable thing of Captain Kidd's arm looking mechanical, many people thinking that this is Kidd's devil fruit, and as a result you've got that, and then hold on, we then finally cut to where Shaki here, who we see that hold on, let me oops, I went a bit ahead there. Who I took this picture. Oh yeah, we see Saint Somers, who is arriving when the Marines are, telling that the Marines are saying put a stop to them, make sure you escort check her outright. And they're telling her that, well, the problem with that is, and he goes in and sees that she's knocked out any Marine that's tried to take her away. And she's going like, you're kidding me, right? You can't handle one woman in handcuffs, with her saying, sounds like there are a lot of pirates out there causing trouble. And he goes like, I hate a woman who knows her own worth. Let's see, you're better when you're naive. And he basically slaps her. And then, as we can see here, he attacks her. Whoops, sorry. And after, when she was talking a bit, giving some rhetoric back earlier, let's see, slaps. And then as a result of that slap, she retaliates back and is able to kick him for a bit. And eventually, once he grabs her leg, he gets mad. And he goes like, and then starts to bring out his weapon and seriously injures her. And goes like, that's all right. Those are parts of here. Steal your back. You're in high demand, so it's so high that it's ruined our big day. And goes like, but you're alive. Oh, but you're alive. You're only going to wind up with Garling. And decides, so the more emotional choice is to kill her, make sure that no one can have her. So it's like, he knows Garling's going to win this competition. So it's like, if I can't have you, no one can. And just to affect everyone there, that's their reason for coming. And goes like, they've come so far, they're right to rescue you, but when they finally get here, battered and bruised, they'll find their beloved, slaughtered. And he wonders and excited about how they're reacting. And during this time, we're seeing Roger clashing with Whitebeard as the crews are all arriving, seeing hockey clashes. He says, Shaki, I'm here for you, and all that stuff. You've got Shiki going like, are you okay, Shaki? I'm going to come save you now. More pirates going, saying, no, it's me and me, with Roger going like, damn it, I can't get through, saying to like, Rayleigh, you go get her, as Shamrock decides, can you hear that? They're right behind us, but they'll just be a second too late. With the Marines saying, St. Somers, I don't think St. Garland would approve of. He tells them to shut up. If you don't say anything, it goes in the books as an accident. So basically tell them, keep quiet and no one will know. And he's just mocking her for her face, hoping that the light have finally gone out of her. Blabbing about how it's not a fairy tale and no one will come to save her as he kills her, mocking reality. And he'll kill her in 5 blows and making it a bloody thing. Saying you better regret the peace out of optimism that led you here. But just as he's about to do it, Rayleigh arrives as he says, I'll put flowers on your grave to send you off. And Gaban is all like, oops. Let's see, completely panicking as Rayleigh does the whole move called Spider Lily Steal, blowing and garling across the Ritzy through the wall, sort of like that sort of cartoony, like ooh, push through thing. As he calls out to Shaki, she's surprised, and Rayleigh ends up bringing out cutting her chains out, saying that so it took so long, thinking about the letter she sent her, come and get me. He's saying that I've come to get you, and you see Shaki crying, and then starts to teary eyes, and then goes like, "Oh Ray, you took too long." As he apologized, saying that you had to go through this, and she cries about how she was so scared. And this is where you get Roger and Gabon crying, saying, "You can do this later, damn it." Heartbroken that it seems like Shaki has finally chosen Rayleigh, and Rayleigh has finally taken the relationship, meaning that they have no chance on, which arguably hopefully means that these two move on. As you end the chapter saying, "We've got Shaki back, boys," saying, "Now take some treasure and let's get the hell out of here," as they go like, "Yeah," as you get a final panel of God Valley ending the chapter. So yeah. Oh boy. Well, that took a bit longer than I will admit I wanted to say. I will admit, granted, I also probably ended up glowing on about the double page spreads, but I guess it's overall to give my thoughts. I do like how well, as to be expected, the world nobles, despite the fact that their lives are in danger, are complaining about how they can't get their prizes yet. Ritzy and blaming the Marines that we're holding you responsible for this, even though they're like, "You can get your prizes later. We'll get them for you. Just please get out of here. Your safety is more concerned." But they're just like, "No, I care only about my prize. You'll pay for this." So, that sort of selfish attitude, even when they're being rescued and escorted, and not really probably fully understanding how much danger they're actually in, given how we've seen this behavior time and time again with world nobles, thinking that, no one should be dared enough to defy them, but here they are. They're being attacked. They're in danger. But, basically, they're sort of like being like, "No, I want my stuff. I want my prizes, blah, blah, blah." Basically being selfish little buggers. But, spored buggers, really. But, yeah. Anyway, I suppose I should get more to my other thoughts. Let's see. Let me just double check. But yeah, I will admit, I do like how the civilians of God Valley thought, okay, we can try and use this chaos to try and escape, giving them a sense of hope. But of course, as we know, they end up being shot down by the other member of like Gunko's family, the Maymar family, which is a bit of a tragedy. I mean, it's like, even with all this chaos, they're still being targeted by members of the Gods Knights, any world noble that comes across them. It's tragic because, only at the very least, we know, thanks to Kuma, only 500 made it out of like this island. So it's like most of these people were basically all wiped out. I do wonder if perhaps the 500 that escaped with Kuma, I wonder if they all ended up joining like the Revolutionary Army or something. That would be kind of cool to see, but who knows? Kind of like how survivors of Lelucia that went with Sabo, probably have also joined the Revolutionary Army. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see in that regards. But yeah, despite the fact that all this chaos is going on, they have a chance to escape. They get shot down and stuff. So yeah, and you just see more of the world nobles' cruelty. It's like, we're not letting anyone leave this island alive. I'll admit, it is interesting how in this chapter, despite the fact that we've been following Rox for quite a bit. He's only in this one panel, really. So, but I do think it's an effective one, because you've got like the three main stars of God Valley, the ones that everyone talks about, thinking of their goals. Roger, it's the moment. Shaki, Rox, it's his wife and child, and arguably, since it's his wife and child, and the fact that we actually learn her name this chapter, it's actually a nice surprise, because it's like Eris. We're actually learning more about Blackbeard's mother than we ever learning about Shanks's, unfortunately. But yeah, it's nice to see each of them prioritizing their goals, and this is like their goals, because like this is what Oda's emphasizing. They're not here to like have that sort of let's see, battle with each other. Let's see that legendary battle that we know. They have their own reasons for being here. So it's curious to see. I think Oda is just reminding us this is why they're actually here before, let's see, they get whatever their inevitable clash being, whether or not, let's see, by accident or chance, as there is the theory that Emu is going to possess some rocks, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how, let's see, Dragon. Oh, let me just find an image of Dragon. Oh yeah, Dragon is trying to do his very best to rescue the twins, but then a God's Knight gets in his way, and well, as a result, he ends up dropping one of the twins, and as a result, he thinks he's failed, and he thinks like he was trying, and like he screwed up his one chance of doing a good thing after helping this mass slaughter of genocide, and thinks perhaps, maybe I deserve this when he thinks he's about to die, but of course, then he gets saved, which I will admit, I do like this, let's see, pattern of like, on Whitebeard and Big Mom with Dragon just being so small, to see like these like massive giants to him, and it's like how, let's see, he is not quite yet on their level, which I assume Dragon does since he becomes the most wanted criminal in the world. Let's see, he is just at the moment, he is just not on their thing in a sense. He's kind of like a Luffy at Marineford seeing all these titans clash, and he's just like a frog in a, let's see, frog in a very large pond, if you will. So I do like that. He's just seeing everything. I do even like how he sees how powerful his dad is and all that stuff. I'm curious to see what their conversation will be after God Valley, because clearly, since God Valley, you've basically Shanks, let's see, Garp's reputation amongst the fandom has been a bit, has been basically a bit questions like, okay, Garp, you've seen what the world nobles do to God Valley. Why are you still with the Marines? Why haven't you done your own revolutionary? Why haven't you rise against them and all that stuff? I am curious to see what Garp's excuse. Clearly, let's see, he must either be, let's see, I'm not sure. Unless he's not seen any sort of world noble slaughtering civilians or something, or like really turning a blind eye or something, or at least just not actually seeing the atrocities, you gotta wonder why he's doing all this. Though, granted, I think, let's see, I think Oda is eventually building up to a conversation. We're seeing Garp's reasoning. I think Garp knows that the world nobles are scumbags. He even calls them directly. But I think, but I'm curious to see why. Let's see, what is his reasons for staying in despite this. I wonder if he's got like it's some sort of long-term goal, as some people are thinking, or I don't know. But either way, it's causing all kinds of emotions. But yeah, but I do like how Dragon, after like seeing just how powerless he is in the situation, only sees Shanks about and decides that, okay, at the very least, I failed to save your brother, but at the very least, I can save you. And it's like, you can see just how Dragon is being sort of very realistic in this situation. Let's see. He knows he can't really save all these people. So when he like hit from the mother of Shanks and Shamrock, it tells him about her children. He tries to at least save them. But when one of them gets out of his grasp and he cannot save him, let's see, he decides to at least save this one. As an unfortunate result, this results in Shamrock being raised by Garling, and as a result becoming probably one of the most, let's see, worst kinds of people he can be. A God's Knight from the world nobles who knows what kind of atrocities that Shamrock's done. So I'm thinking that he might actually be even Bonnie's father, which of course grows to some very dark implications. But I'm not going to go there, so yeah. But yeah, I do like the sort of realism that let's see, Dragon is taking with like the kids. Anyway, interesting with the God's Knights. We the one God's Knight we end up seeing is, of course, which I will admit is a bit surprising to see. This one is actually the one that ends up retrieving sort of Shanks, Shamrock from Dragon instead of Garling. Is this one Saint Maffy, who will admit let's see, everyone thought it was from she was from the same family as Killingham, given the design. But let's see, from what the Fizz says, she's from the Satchels family. So apparently, despite looking very much like Killingham in some ways, she's not actually from the same family. So does that mean she's not actually related to him? So I'm just curious if like that means Wetsy, which is a bit strange because her design makes it sound like her. So you do got to wonder if perhaps let's see, she's from another family that married into Killingham's family, or is it just that just really just like this sort of doing similar designs and all that stuff in the God's Knights? I'm not sure. Either way, I think I just got a bit more explaining to do, but yeah. But let's see, I do like how it's interesting how she seems to comment about Garling having a kid, thinking like who would really have the and all that, who would want to have a kid with him and all that stuff. So it shows a bit of as we kind of see later with Summers, how about there seems to be a bit of hostility with some of the other God's Knights amongst each other, probably because they're like all the same rank. And it's like normally they have people below them, but here they have people like they're actually competing to get stuff. So yeah, granted it could be like Garland has a certain level of arrogance even above the God's Knights, but who knows? So but yeah. But yeah, but she's quite interesting as I think none of us I think expected her to have like a sort of laser beam attack on as granted we don't, given the fact that she seems to fire like a pacifista, granted we know that technology has not yet been made, so this has made for many to wonder if she perhaps possessed Kizaru's light fruit. And then at some point she died, and as a result, Kizaru got his hands on it, either by the world government or by chance himself. We're not sure, but yeah, many people are wondering if she actually has a Lokia fruit. So it'll be quite interesting to see if she might end up dying on the battlefield here. But granted, we've seen her being sliced by Whitebeard here, so who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if she's just if she ends up being one of the God's Knights that's taken down as flashback. If it's revealed that she has the light fruit, because if it is, then it wouldn't be hard to see her being killed here. And maybe it'll give us a hint on how to kill these God's Knights. Or permanently defeat them and all that stuff, but yeah. But either way, at the moment, I'm enjoying the sort of banter with like the Rocks pirates that we see here, particularly Kylo and Big Mom. Let's see Big Mom accusing Whitebeard of trying to kill her, and like you see Shiki do that. But Whitebeard's like saying, "No, I'm not trying to kill any of you," because arguably Whitebeard is probably the one member of the Rocks Pirates that would not try and stab the others in the back, but they just don't want to believe him and all that stuff. But yeah. But I do like how Kaido is accusing Lin of lying to her because the whole devil fruit thing. So it seems like we're getting set up to like Big Mom getting Kaido the devil fruit, but Kaido falling out with her because he doesn't trust her or something. So yeah, that would be interesting. But in the meantime, we've got this awesome double panel, Puretsi, and showing that despite the fact that a lot of pirates have came here to rescue Shaki, let's see, many of them are competing with each other, including those who, despite maybe being on Hachinosu, or maybe just not on Hachinosu, decide like we'll take down the Rocks Pirates, we'll become famous. Of course, that is basically a suicide mission because basically you've got like the Yonko here. These are the members that become future Yonko. And of course, Shiki, who seems to be on a similar level to that, teaming up in this, like, arguably this is probably my favorite panel, just like sort of Avengers Assemble, like I mentioned earlier. Just everyone just slicing down all these minor pirates, and it's like all awesome. But of course, we get an even more awesome panel, which is like this is arguably perhaps the best feat that Garp could ever get, is the fact that these legend future emperors are all running away. Granted, arguably Whitebeard's probably close to Garp in strength by this point, but they're like they'd rather despite the fact that it's 3-1, they think that this fight will take forever, so they'd rather not fight Garp, just showing you just how powerful Garp is, and also show that Don Chinjiro's words about how Garp was a demon to pirates, this rings true because even the future emperors themselves want to avoid fighting him. Granted, I do like how Kaido's like, we ain't going to fight him, and the Big Mom saying, no, don't be foolish. So it seems like Kaido missed his chance of fighting Garp, which might explain why he never had Garp in his like top fighters thing, because it's like he's probably fought Whitebeard, Rocks at some point before. Of course, Odin and maybe Shanks as well. So, and then probably also fought Roger. So yeah, it's like he never got a chance to fight Garp, so he never really got a chance to put him in the sort of top 10 rankings. So, but clearly he wanted to, but the others was like, nope. And you just see more of a beast Garp is when Big Mom does this very powerful combination of Zeus and Prometheus, which some might say this might be one of Big Mom's most impressive attacks. As I do some think like Big Mom should have been a bit more impressive than Wano or Retsi and all that, but I'm not. I digress. But despite that like whole powerful attack, Garp remains completely unfazed. Let's see, whatever you feel about Garp being a Marine, despite all the corruption around, Garp is that guy. He is awesome. He is just completely, 100% badass when it comes to like fighting and scaring pirates away. That even one of the Emperor's attacks has no effect, and you just see just how scary he is from that. So yeah, but yeah, that part was like awesome. So but yeah. Anyway, one thing I want to comment on is like the whole Shanks debate, which you've got many people talking. Okay, is this bump on the head Shanks got means that it's like this is like a whole Goku situation where he got his head bumped and then he went from bad to good. People are wondering like, is Oda doing the same here? Let's see, which has some people worried because it's like this feels like it will ruin the complexity of it. It's like nature versus nurture and all that stuff. Like because since Shanks is taken by Roger and raised by him, he became a good person. With Shamrock being taken by his father, he becomes a bad person and all that stuff. So all that stuff. But yeah, which I will admit, I do not want to be the guard knight or the person who's looking after those twins to go to God and say, don't worry, I got your child safe. But he goes like, where is the other one? And realizes, wait, there's another one. Oh, cried, and then gets his, butt whipped and all that stuff. So I'm very curious to see. Let's see, I don't want to be that guy, but who knows? I'm curious to see if we'll see Garland punish that person. But yeah, but yeah, there's like, but yeah, many people seem worried that okay, is Shanks going to become a Goku situation, which I don't think that's the case. I think Oda's just doing a little comedic nod to that. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think basically Shanks is a good person because he's raised by Roger. So I think that's going to be the message emphasized. I think Oda was just doing either a nod or just having that as a way of like Shanks being knocked out so he doesn't cry and the guards knights don't realize that he's there. I'm not sure. I'm curious to see, who knows, for we know, someone in the SBS might ask Oda the question. He reveals like, no, that's not the case. Or, yes, it is the case, which I'm hoping it's not, but who knows. But yeah, but this is arguably really only nitpick besides, I think Shiki suddenly disappearing from like where the Yonko are and then with the other guards knights, which I do like how the Marines are just talking about how they're cornered and all that stuff, but and let's see, and they're trying to get the Celestial Dragons away safely, but also they've been forced to try and also retrieve their treasures and that stuff. But yeah, but either way, I do like how we get like sort of this cool panel of like all the other non-Yonko, let's see, members of the Rocks Pirates arriving, minus the like let's see, the mobs that died and Wang Xi who's betrayed them, charging in and all that stuff. I do like the funny panel of like Silver Axe Hand pushing Shiki because of the whole rivalry, even though they'll kind of come for Shaki. But I will admit, the thing that's most interesting in this panel is, let's see, Captain John having this mechanical arm, which makes many people wonder, does he have Kid's devil fruit? And the fact that apparently they're both based off the same pirate has led many to believe, I believe John Kidd, wondering if Captain Kidd is by any chance related to Kidd, which I think some might be a bit disappointed that we've got another lineage with like pirates with like Kidd and John, but who knows? But at the very least, we do know that which who knows? At the very least, I think if you do have Kidd being John's thing, at the very least, could he just got the devil fruit and then Kidd just got the devil fruit after he died? But yeah, but if Kidd is, I guess you could say, Captain John Kidd's relative in any way, be it son, uncle, or something like that. Who knows? That might mean that, okay, Oda's being clear that, yeah, Kidd has some role in the story down the line. Maybe something related to Captain John's treasure. Maybe something related to God Valley. Who knows? We do know he eventually gets killed by his own crew and all that stuff. So you have that. Let's see, for hogging all the treasure. But who knows? But I don't think Kidd will do that. But yeah, but it's a nice little speculation that, okay, Captain John may have a devil fruit. Granted, it could just be a mechanical arm. But nevertheless, at the very least, it's got excitement. And you see people talking about Kidd again, which I do wonder if we are going to see, which I do hope that we will see in this Elbaf arc, as I do think Kidd is seemingly being built up to have a role involving Shanks, Luffy, and who knows, and maybe the Guards Knights. Who knows? At the very least, maybe not. I'd say Guards Knight. Well, that one I'm being more speculative, but I do think that he has a role to play in this, hopefully Shanks-centric Elbaf arc. But yeah, now granted, it's just not yet fully focused on Shanks yet. But I could be wrong. But yeah. But anyway, I do like how we're all basically coming to save Shaki, and then you're seeing a bit of banter between them. But yeah. But anyway, we end up catching to actually an actual scumbag of a world noble, Saint Summers, who's, and then actually here in the present day, and we see more of how much of a scumbag he actually is, as he's decided that, okay, if I can't have you, no one can, all that stuff. Granted, I know there's some people that have criticized this decision because it seems to have made Shaki into a bit of a damsel in distress, but I will probably say, even though she gets rescued in the end, she still puts up a bit of a fight against her captors, knocking out all these Marines. And of course, having this sort of like badass moment of damaging Saint Summers that he gets mad enough after. So starts slapping and physically hurting her and decides that I'm going to kill you because, like, if I can't have you, no one can, because he clearly knows that Garland is probably to win, which goes to show that Garland is definitely the strongest Guards Knight, and it seems like all the other Guards Knights seems to be resentful about that fact, the fact that he seems to like he will win this and all that stuff and for Summers it's like, okay, Shaki, if you're going to be his wife, I'm going to kill you and all that stuff. But I do like how, as this sort of going on, Rayleigh comes in and saves the day. But of course, you get like a bit of a clash of Whitebeard and Roger, showing a bit of their rivalry here. But let's see, Whitebeard keeping, but this is being done to show Whitebeard is keeping. Roger's keeping Whitebeard busy so that Rayleigh can go and save her. Granted, I do know I've seen some people like, okay, so Okay, so Whitebeard wouldn't want to fight Garp, but he's more willing to fight Roger. Does that mean Garp's stronger than Roger? I think it's just more of like, okay, no, it's not the case. It's that fighting Garp both took a lot more time, and Shaki isn't nearby. But here, Shaki is nearby, and Whitebeard is ready to fight to try and rescue her. But Roger is just trying to keep everyone away, and reluctantly allows Rayleigh to come in and save the day. And boy, is it a badass moment of Rayleigh coming in, taking out Summers, sending him flying for the wall, which I think now, granted, showing that Saint Summers is a bit of a punching bag for Oda when it comes to like the Roger Pirates at the very least. As you've seen, both wings of the Pirate King let's see, Pirate King left and right beat him up. Let's see, Rayleigh here right now, and then Scopocaban later down the line. Now, granted, I wouldn't be surprised if Scopocaban does fight Saint Summers, because he should have some of that regenerative immortality. But yeah, but at the moment, it's like, but if you didn't believe it before, but yeah, Saint Summers, well, arguably Fritzy incredibly powerful, as he took down Vice Admiral Sol and all that stuff, a D member. So yeah, someone that's a Vice Admiral. He is strong, at least Yonko commander, but he is no match for like a wing of the Pirate King. And who knows, maybe someone on Admiral level probably. But yeah, but it's just like awesome to see this moment. And then Rayleigh is just finally giving his sort of response that I'm here, I've come to get you and all that stuff, because of like that letter she sent him, come and make me yours. And he's like, I'm here. I'm sorry it took so long. And of course, they have their sort of like, tearful embrace and finally admitting their feelings and all that stuff. Let's see. So it's nice. So it was like a very touching moment. It's led to this moment. It's finally here. And of course, you've got like Roger and Gabon crying because now they have no shout of Shaki. So who knows, which is finally nice. Who knows means that finally Roger can move on and perhaps instead of being a fool around Shaki, probably turn more into the sort of Pirate King we know today. So yeah, as we do know, he eventually goes with Port Kirsty Rouge. So yeah, so and have Ace. So yeah, now that is settled, they've got where they come her, and they're ready to take her away as well as any treasure they can find. So yeah, so I do like that we see, which I will admit, I'm a bit surprised that she's been rescued and helped so soon. To be honest, I thought there would have been a few more chapters into that. Maybe you see Rayleigh fighting either Garling or I know some other God's Knights to rescue her, which, to be fair, did happen, but much sooner. But interesting, now that she's been rescued, the Roger Pirates' reasons for being here are done except stealing a few treasure. So it does make me wonder that since Oda's gotten the whole Shaki rescue happening early, means that we're going to move on to the next bit, which is going to be like the Rocks and Roger thing, and maybe see what happens, which I believe some theorizing that Emu's going to show up, given all the chaos, the world nobles are in danger. He's going to take command and maybe, who knows, possess some of the God's Knights. I mean, not possess the God's Knights, well, Gunko is going to possess, but maybe possess some of these Rocks and Rogers pirates or other pirates around, since, who knows, this might be the conclusion to like Rocks and Emu's confrontation. Who knows? But at the very least, Rocks pirates are probably going to make a move. So yeah. Overall, I'd say this was a very great chapter. I enjoyed it. Just seeing the pure chaos, if you will. Pure chaos, if you will, and let me just I'll go here. Wait, do I want this image at the end? No. Oh yeah, I'll go with this. Nope, not that one. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Let's see. So yeah, overall, very great chapter. Seeing the pure chaos of the Rocks pirates, Gritzy battling and defeating pirates, marines, and God's Knights alike. Dragging with his mission to try and save the twins, but only for like one of them to be like being stopped by a God's Knight called Saint Matthew, who prevents him from rescuing one of the twins, but decides to at least try and save Shanks, arguably leading to the eventual fate of Shanks meeting Luffy. Sort of a pain that dragon that he got from Dragon and all that stuff. Seeing like Ritzy Garp, just seeing just how awesome Garp is, but the fact that you've got, let's see, the Yonko who are like battering any pirate in their sight, but when they see him about, they basically flee and all that stuff rather not fight him, even let's see, unable to sort of like damage him and all that stuff. So yeah, we'd see a lot more of Summers' cruelty, if you will. Let's see, I do like perhaps let's see, Shaki is able to defend herself to an extent, even when she's being chained up. And of course, that touching moment of like rescuing Rayleigh rescuing her and all that stuff. And maybe some hints to like down the line, like Captain Kidd and Captain John Kidd might be related. And also, arguably the touching scene with Rayleigh and Shaki. All these different clashes, such as Garp after the Yonko, Roger versus Whitebeard, Summer's Cruelty. Yeah, so I get on that. But yeah, all that stuff is great. With the only really nitpicks is maybe locations of like, Shiki is with the let's see, Yonko, but then later here with this group, and concerns with Shanks bump on the head. Now, granted, let's see, I don't think I don't think Shanks is like bumping the head equals good thing. I think that is just Oda just doing a little funny nod to that. But if that does end up happening, I think that will make me lower the score of this chapter. But at the moment, I am inclined to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just to see a few nitpicks. But if you get the whole amnesia thing, I will probably maybe deduce a point down. Let's see, amnesia means good thing. I might reduce it down to like an 8.5 or 7.5. But nevertheless, everything like this here is good. Seeing the Rocks Pirates, seeing Garp terrorizing the Rocks Pirates, Roger fighting Whitebeard, seeing just how cruel the God Knights are, Dragon's Mission, all that stuff. But I'm going on now. So yeah, overall, it was a very good chapter. I enjoyed it. Let's see, seemingly everyone else enjoyed it, particularly this really awesome panel with Garp just terrifying the Yonko. So yeah, arguably this is one to talk for the ages, and arguably I wouldn't be surprised if many now put Garp in the top 5. I know King of Lightning struggling to do that because you've used Whitebeard, Roger, Shanks in the top 5, as well as let's see, Whitebeard. Yeah, did I say Whitebeard? Rocks, Whitebeard, Shanks, Roger, and I think what was that? Let's see, King Harold's name. Who, granted, none of the giants in here, but I think that's fine for the time being. But yeah, so let's see, some people struggling too. It's like you got all those people that seemingly Yonkos here, but yeah. But overall, it's a very good chapter. Very hyped, maybe 1 or 2 nitpicks, and maybe 1 concern, depending on if this is going to be. And he explained that, he had a bump in his head, so he's now good. But who knows? I don't think Oda's going that route because One Piece is a bit more, let's see more deeper into character development, and I'd say compared to Dragon Ball, which might be controversial. But yeah, anyway, I said my piece. For those who end up listening to the stream, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Sorry if I'm being rambling on at the end, but yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what to say next, but I think I've said everything I have. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll see you all next time when I review the next One Piece chapter, which will be, I think, out this week. It was supposed to be out last week, but due to Oda's health, he got they had to take a week's absence, but it seems like he's back. But it is a bit of a concern amongst the fandom if perhaps Oda's pushing himself too far, but at the very least, I mean, he literally did 2 colored spreads. I mean, I don't think this has ever happened really before, besides that one other time when Oda did one, and then I think you've got someone from the anime staff doing Egghead or something. But no, Oda decided to do 2 here for whatever reason. But yeah, well, either way, regardless, hopefully his health is much better now. But let's see, because we do want him to, of course, try and finish the manga. Now, granted, we also want his health to be well secure, but who knows? It could be that Oda's too stubborn not to. But anyway, we'll see how his illness has affected him. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you for listening into this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye for now.